Welcome, everyone. This is Pine Leaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang.
Hey, everybody.
Maven.
Hey, y'all.
Forte Maestro.
2 weeks in a row, can you believe it?
Wow. And welcome our special guest for tonight, our former host here at LOTRO Players and a current host at DDO Players News, Dracula.
I'm so confused. I showed up 3 days early. I thought this was Monday night.
And don't forget, we have a mute co-host tonight.
Yes, and Terry unfortunately will not be able to talk tonight, but she is following along and may type in a few comments along the way.
And so check the closed captioning on the podcast for Terry Adwin's comments.
All right, now let's head into the news this week, and we'll start out with a little story that says that the Lord of the Rings Online and DDO leave Turbine and Warner Brothers to form their own studio, Standing Stone Games.
Just some tiny news, Pine Leaf.
Yes.
Yes, Turbine is now kind of split up. The team that was working on LOTRO and DDO went off to make their own studio, Standing Stone Games. There's still a WB studio that is Turbine that is going to be making mobile titles and going forward with that. And so it seems like, the vision for Turbine at Warner Brothers is still going forward for the mobile studio, and presumably the vision that the actual employees there wanted is going forward as Standing Stone Games. So, that's exciting news. LOTRO and DDO should have much more freedom to do what they want and also have more financial, basically more control of their own money and be able to reinvest back into their own company. They also will not have possibly as much available capital since they're no longer be under Warner Brothers. But it seems like Warner Brothers kind of stopped having interest in LOTRO and DDO, at least from the outside. What do the rest of you think? Do you think this is good news or what?
Well, one of the things I noticed is that on the DDO forums, one of the old devs that was like he either left or was laid off some time ago, well, he popped back up and said he's back with the new team.
Yeah, it does seem like they've brought some people back, which is fantastic, and that's definitely really good news. Also, I do want to say that basically everything about LOTRO and DDO is pretty much going to be the same moving forward, with the small exception that it's now LOTRO or DDO points, depending on which game you're in. But everything else is pretty much the same. They have the license renewed, they have the same servers, same team, and it seems like things are going to go forward as they've basically been planning.
And from what it seems is, from what it looks like, they can actually keep more of their profit. I'm not sure how much, because you're talking about having less capital. I'm wondering how much that translates to what they were able to keep before and what they can keep now, and being able to have whatever they have now to be able to further develop it.
Right. I think it'll mean that they do have more money of their own to be at least reinvesting, because I'm guessing that Warner Brothers was taking a fairly big portion of their profits, but you never know. Also, something to consider is that Turbine used to be extremely good at raising capital from just general individuals who wanted to invest into the company, and so it's possible that they could go back to that type of a strategy where they have investors and no longer have, this big corporation owner, and are able to, just have more control of even just the capital that they do get.
I'm wondering how much of the capital is going to come from Daybreak Games, because Daybreak is going to be the publisher now. And if you did not know, Daybreak Games is actually owned by a huge investment firm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if some of the capital is going to come from them. But then again, that's kind of the scary part of this whole equation, is how much control is Daybreak going to have? But from what it seems like now, not a lot.
However much control they do have, it's going to be less than Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I noticed that when the logos came up, while Daybreak Games was on the agreement that you signed up, that you click on when you first signed on after doing your update, they did not appear on the logos that came up when you did your loading screen.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're going to be the silent partner.
It's possible that that just hasn't been added yet, and it's also
True.
possible that it's never going to be added, and that they do seem to be their own company. They're not owned by Daybreak, so they are an individual publisher, which does kind of make them be a little bit different than some of the other Daybreak titles, since some of them are actually owned by Daybreak Games.
Yeah, and Cordovan did make that clear on his over on the DDO side on his weekly Wednesday live streams. Somebody asked about that, and he did make that clear that they are an independent company. They are not owned by anybody. They're owned by themselves.
Which is
Daybreak
awesome.
is just a publisher, so that's a good thing that they are totally independent. That's also a scary thing too. But I guess
Yeah,
we'll see
and
what happens.
they're kind of entering uncharted territory because
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen, big IPs like this go to other companies and, companies trade them off, but I've never seen it go to like a brand new studio that's formed by the employees of that company. This seems to be something that, as far as I can tell, hasn't really happened before, especially in the MMO space, which is exciting and, like we've said, also scary.
Especially with big games. It's like one of the first. It's like a pioneering type of activity there.
Yeah. And also, they did say on the forums that all of the proceeds to the game are now going to the new company. So if you go and buy LOTRO points from the LOTRO store, it will be going to Standing Stone Games and not Warner Brothers at all anymore. So if you want to help support this new venture, you can do that by, of course, buying Turbine points from there. Which is nice, I think, that they're having this happen right before the holiday sales.
LOTRO points.
Yes, yep. Which is nice that, this is happening right before Christmas and the holiday sales. I think that should be good for them, that they'll be hopefully getting quite a bit of money from that and be able to move forward fairly well.
All right. Anyone else have any comments?
I think it's good. I think because of what you guys all said, first of all, as a company with just the two properties, they're going to be really motivated,
Yeah.
to serve the gamer, their gaming community, and
Yeah.
they're also going to, I think, have a lot more agility and a lot more flexibility, as I think Endang said. They're not going to have Big Brother, Warner Brothers hanging over them, or doling out or cutting budgets or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I think you're right. I think it is going to be hard work because they're going to need to be profitable. But I think it's good. I think the need to be profitable is probably going to cause some innovation to happen. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think actually Corey, I mean, I'll drop a name here. I mean, I was telling Corey about it, and he got really excited because he's like, well, he said, it seems to me like we have a better chance of doing post-Mordor gaming in LOTRO now than we would have.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I know the devs and Made of Alliance, for example, have always been looking forward to what they could do post-Mordor,
Right.
but you can always be wondering, but is Warner going to allow them to do it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
And yeah, I
Do
think
they have the
that's
right-
I think that's a great point that, the Standing Stone Games company now depends on LOTRO and DDO being successful. If they're not, then that's kind of the end of the company. And so it adds in a lot of extra excitement and intrigue into the development, I suppose.
Terry adds a comment here. Some of the comments she says on the article have talked about wasting, quote unquote, wasting developer resources on this or that project. And I think that there's going to be no such thing as wasting resources with the new company. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think that they
or
might be
it's-
working on, a new game just since their current IPs are fairly old eventually. Like in a year or two, they might be, working on a new game just so that they have something new going. But I don't think we'll see, them making games that they maybe didn't necessarily want to make. Like the MOBA, at least from my point of view, didn't seem like it had a lot of like passion behind it from the actual developers. I could be wrong in that, but I think the team as a whole kind of got forced into that just because it was seen as a money-making thing. It seemed like Warner Brothers in general was kind of like, oh hey, this was popular 6 months ago, let's make that now when it's no longer profitable and everybody's already jumped on that train. And so pretty much whatever you make is not going to be successful at that point because you waited too long and you're just catching, jumping on the hype train that has already left the station and is way off down the line. And so I think that they shouldn't be chasing off after the latest craze. I think they'll just be focusing on making really good games, which is really exciting.
Well, that's another good point, which is they're not going to be the big lumbering, huge behemoth that's hard to move that Warner Brothers was.
Yeah.
If there is something innovative, if there is something leading edge that they could see, I trust them to see it, and they can move faster. If they choose to. So yeah. I think that's true.
You're gonna live and die by these games.
All right, and in a little bit related news, the LOTRO license has been renewed, and can we stop worrying about this now?
I hope so, and I'm so glad that they did not release the date, and Cordovan even said on the forums that he's not going to release the date when this is up for renewal again, which is fantastic. Now it's just like every other license agreement. It's no longer like... because no other license agreement releases the date when it's going to be expiring that I know of. And so that's what set this apart from the other licenses and what made people like raise their eyes, like, because there was a definite date. No other license does that. And so I'm really glad that they're keeping that private this time and are just going to go forward with making, LOTRO and making it be as good as it can be.
They probably got tired of dealing with the issue. It's like, let's just not tell
Cordovan
them.
definitely seemed annoyed by it, that's for sure.
Well, wouldn't you be?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And all these people
Can you blame
asking
them? Yeah.
over and over and over.
And also, here's the question that was raised, are character revamps upcoming with Mordor?
Drac, this was your story.
Why, yes, it was. Because I'm surprised nobody else posted it. But yeah, I was in the forums looking around after this announcement to see what was going on, and I noticed executive producer Severlin did kind of add some things to somebody put a thread in there entitled "An Open Letter to Standing Stone Games," and they were kind of bringing up, well, the graphics are kind of old, this and that, or whatever. And Seb said, "What if I let it slip that we are looking at a substantial Avatar revamp for the Mordor expansion? I think we can all agree that the prospect can be both exciting and scary. Avatar preference is super subjective, and even some of the best received game revamps have a percentage of players who prefer the old look. We are looking at providing an option to use old avatars, so we are not forcing players to use newly updated models and animation."
Right, because you have a problem there, because you have a lot of people who identify themselves by their actual look.
Right,
exactly. I know when EverQuest did it way back, and people change extremely, I mean, sometimes to the positive, but it's just who you are is by how you look, because you design yourself that way. And so it'll be hard to be able to, it's like basically giving yourself a facelift and looking in the mirror and not seeing who you saw yourself as.
And then I know to bring it back to LOTRO, I forgot when it was. It wasn't too long ago that they changed the way the hobbits ran, and you would have thought the world came to an end. People lost their minds.
Yeah, that was the Hobbit. Yeah, the Hobbit lasses. When they changed how the Hobbit lasts, one person.
Oh, the dance! I lost my mind when they took the dance away from the Hobbit lass.
Well, and what's really funny to me is that for some people, this is bigger news than the fact that Standing Stone Games got created, which I think is hilarious.
What? You're messing with my character? What?
That's right. I don't care who owns it. Just don't mess with my avatar.
You're not taking my ponytail away.
But I think it's nice that he did actually already say that they're looking at a way to where you can toggle this on and off if you would like. And most other MMOs do that as well. So it's not unheard of to do that.
Yeah, and there seems to be in gaming in general this growing trend of like you have this, especially when they're revamping older games, they'll have like the retro mode and they'll have like the new mode where you can see, the updated graphics or the classic graphics. Nintendo's been doing this a lot. I know the Uncharted collection did that and a lot of other different games. And so it makes even more sense, I think, in the MMO space to be doing something like this. So it'd be really cool if they have the option to, have this newer character models or the older ones.
All right. Anyone else have anything to add on this?
Don't mess it up.
Terry might. If I look and see what Terry wrote, Terry might have written something.
Yeah, she says that's because character avatars are more personal to a lot of the players than the people who actually own the game.
That's
true.
And it's very true, yes.
Yeah, 'cause
You do have a point with that.
the game designers or the game owners are pretty much behind the scenes. You don't really focus on them a lot unless they either come up with something awesome or mess something up.
Yeah.
But you see your personality every day, especially with role players and even people who do music.
Yeah.
That is your
Oh,
persona.
oh yeah, the music. Yeah, if they foul up the sound from a musical instrument, boy, do you hear that quickly.
I know a number of people that would be holding up strike signs.
Yeah. All right, let's head into our store sales. And Drac, what's on sale this week?
Wow, I even get to do this?
This is the real reason we brought you back, Trackers.
That's right. Jerry's not here, so I have to do store sales again. This week, and it's kind of funny what's on sale this week. It's 25% off all that legendary item crap.
Oh,
Nobody-
Love so much.
Nobody needs to buy. Nobody at all. Skip this sale, but don't skip the other sale.
No, yeah,
And-
don't skip the other sale.
We do have December deals now through the 29th of 50% off healing potions, regeneration food. Skip that. But the Worsty dyes and the Steed colors are 50%
Yeah.
off.
Wow.
I'll tell you something else at 50% off I didn't realize until yesterday when I was in the store is the reputation accelerators.
Nice.
50% off.
Wow.
And then we also have double points now through January 2nd. So if you're going to buy those LOTRO points, now's the time to do it because you get double points.
I wish I would have known that a couple of days ago or last week. When I got those points for the new area.
And then we do have our free sample of the week through January 2nd. It is the Universal Solvent. You'll get one of those with the coupon code SOLVIT, SOLVIT. One per account. And also, to go along with the store sales, the LOTRO Market is also running some sales as well. And these are pretty spectacular deals if you still need some of the expansions because they are
Yeah, they're
75% off.
Quad pack is $10.
Yeah, it's crazy at the
That
price
is
of these.
crazy.
So if you have like a free-to-play account or you know somebody that has a free-to-play account, this would make a great gift and it's a good deal. But just remember for the marketplace deals, these are cash only. It's not for LOTRO points. This is the cash shop.
And that gets you up to through was it Mirkwood? It's all the way through Mirkwood. Is it like what level?
I think it's
65 or
Helm's
something
Deep.
like that.
Doesn't it go through Helm's Deep?
Is
Or
it Helm's
no?
Deep too? I don't think it's Helm's Deep. I think it's the
No, the
quad.
quad pack is the first 4 expansions.
Oh, okay.
It's what? Yeah.
So through Mirkwood.
Yeah, through
Well,
Mirkwood. So
through
that gets you
Riders
to.
of Rohan.
So it is Riders of Rohan. So it is.
Yeah, it takes you up through Eastern Rohan. So yeah.
Ah,
Oh, nice.
So for $10, that is a heck of a.
So everything except for Gondor, then, pretty much.
Except for Helm's
Oh,
Deep.
Helm's Deep and beyond,
Helm's Deep.
right?
Okay. Nice.
All right, now let's head into the site news, and we will begin with our community events calendar for December 23rd through the 29th. And it looks like there are a lot of events that are highlighted that are in languages I don't speak.
What? There's a language you don't speak? Shocked, finally.
But Pineleaf, coming up on January 3rd, the Laurelin Writing Club invites you, Pineleaf, and everyone else to celebrate the 25th 125th anniversary of Professor J.R.R. Tolkien's birthday at the Burn and Baby Inn with a toast at 3 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, or 8 p.m. GMT. And that is once again on January the 3rd, which is a Tuesday, and they'll be raising a mug to the professor during the traditional Tolkien Society toast. And then they'll be setting off fireworks and all sorts of other celebrations for sure. So be sure to check that out on Laurelin on January 3rd.
I still don't know why they never serve toast during those toasts.
Oh, well. I believe
used to.
there is also a special event concerning Corey Olsen then?
There is, and I was just thinking about that. It's like somehow or another I've got to put on my to-do list, update events on LOTRO Players News. That night, unfortunately, the Laurelin people will be in bed and sound asleep by that time, but that night is the first class of the Exploring Lord of the Rings course that Corey will be teaching for the foreseeable future. And I have really special news, if y'all will let me say it right here. The guys at Standing Stones have built us our own lore hall.
Wow.
Scholar stairs across from the cat lady. Now it's open for anybody to go in any time, but they actually specifically built it for this course. So it's on one of the doors. Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
That came
Isn't that
in with
awesome?
this week's update?
No, it did not. Unfortunately, Chris did it like his last day before going on holiday, so he missed it like by a day or two, from the update. So the
So
next
it'll be
time we
coming
have
up, okay.
a hot fix, it'll go in.
Wow.
And it's across from the cat lady's door. So it's a really nice area out there that folks can play music, and I will put this up on the site. I'll have it up on LOTRO forum as well. Calling all kinships. Kinships are invited to sponsor a class. So the first night, the Mythgard kinship will sponsor that class, and then we're going to be rotating servers. So we already have sponsorships for Arkenstone, Gladden, and Crick Hollow, and as folks want their kinships to sponsor, what you do is you introduce the class that night, do a little pitch for your kinship. Help me, the ginger-haired hobbit maven, to run around with all the logistics and stuff that we need to do, and probably do some tinky type stuff too, pass out pipeweed and drinks. And then also at the end, Corey will do a private Q&A in voice, in audio, just for that kinship. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool
Nice.
thing. So the whole thing is going to be awesome. Awesome, awesome.
Also running through at least Wednesday on Arkenstone, Operation Hardy Claws is still going on, where the Roxy Manor is giving out all sorts of items, including critical weapons, class items, food buffs, and all sorts of other stuff to lore players. So be sure to check that out on Arkenstone if you want to celebrate the Yule season.
All right, now there is one other thing that got forgotten when we were talking about game news. Is with all this talk about Standing Stone games and character revamps maybe and their looks, we didn't mention that we had an update this week.
Oh, that's right. We did.
Well, comparatively, it's no wonder we did forget
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
we might have gone over, discussed it last week when it was on Bulwer or whatever, but Terry was going, hey, you remember we do
Yeah, there wasn't too much in this update, but there was a lot of stuff like the new logo being in the game and a lot of different art assets that they've switched out and things like
Which
that.
is-
Cosmetics, new
Yeah.
Force Steed, new
yeah.
new quest at Winterfest.
And in fact, I think last time we talked about that it was delayed, that the update had been delayed. Of course, the reason why it was delayed because they didn't finish all the paperwork for the.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had that, and of course
They were
we had
blaming it on
Yulefest.
Yulefest cosmetics, but I think it was probably
No, actually no. Yulefest was delayed because the cosmetics could not get into the game. The cosmetics couldn't get into the game because they couldn't update until some games agreements has all been signed.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
also
yeah,
possible
yeah.
they didn't have the new video intro done or something like that, and so they wanted to wait for that too. But
I was
yeah.
wondering why they just didn't do 2 updates, but that would make sense if they have to
Yeah.
do that legally. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they Cordovan did say on his weekly stream that they do have 30 days to get rid of all of the Warner Brothers mentions and things like that. And so if you do notice any of those that they might have not gotten yet, you can file a bug report, I guess, to let them know about it.
Yeah, there are a couple of screens. I think the main intro screen, for example, I think they still had a Warner Brother thing in the corner. So yeah, we'll be seeing a hot fix or two to take care of things like that. And Also, I guess some of you remember Lily Kate Buggins.
Yay, Lily Kate!
Woohoo! And she sent this little Christmas greeting.
I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's playing Silver Bells.
Yeah, and she's returned, which is great. We get a new Standing Stone game studio, and Lillicate returns.
And
This
Lillicate.
is a great
Yeah.
week.
Lily Kate 2.0! Yay!
Yeah, we get Standing Stones games and Sitting Lily.
I love the new, I think it was 10 or 12-minute song that was sent out there. The new
yeah, I thought that
arrangement.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
She's-
And then ending, I heard a rumor that you finally finished Volume 3 in your Epic Story series.
No way.
Gasp!
Yes,
Yes.
finally, it only took 126 episodes.
Woohoo, look at boy.
And that was
You
just
went
for
through it
Volume
quick, huh?
3. The entire Epic Story so far that I've done has been in 265 episodes, which is just kind of crazy.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like that much. Seeing that number kind of scares me. It's much higher than I thought it was. But it's been a lot of fun going through it, and I really enjoy seeing the Epic Story just by itself. I feel like that's a much more authentic way of seeing it, because when you step away from it, you kind of forget details, or you throw in, side quest type details that you think are in the epic story that aren't, or you think that some things in the epic story are actually in the side quests. And so it's nice to just see, the clear story that Maid of Lions wrote, and it's really cool, and it usually flows much better than when you're doing the side quests and things like that. That being said, it does take a lot to stay leveled doing just the epic story, and so that has been a fun challenge as well, especially since this particular character only does skirmishes, and so me and Pineleaf have done quite a bit of skirmishing because of that. But from the very start, where you start in Elrond's library all the way through, and they make you basically really get tempted for more mithril coins, all the way to the Rangers being assembled, and then going through on all the stuff they do is just a really cool volume, and is, until Volume 4, this was probably tied, at least for my favorite, with Volume 1. I mean, I really enjoy Volume 3 a lot, and enjoy Volume 4 even more, so I'm looking forward to starting a series on Volume 4 soon.
All right, then let's head to the family line, part 114. The Father of Evil.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun dun dun! Okay,
He's not done
that was
yet.
it. That's all I got.
Yeah,
He
that's
still
all I
has more
got.
to do. He's not done yet.
Yeah. Very well. Any comments on that before we head on? Then let's head to Poems of the Pine. Helm's Deep.
You're getting close to finishing Volume 3 too, Pineleaf.
Oh, yeah. We rushed to the ford, but Rohan fell back to the stronghold where Helm, Hammerhand, prevailed. Isengard's forces flowed from the north to prepare an assault to punish the Mark. The dike was downed by Dunlendings and orcs, then the wall was broken by the unbearable force. We were forced to flee into faceted caves, where the crystals glittered to Gimli's delight. There we found the falcon, a foe of our past, who came to clear the caves of our friends. We fought the chief till a child lay him low, then stemmed the forces of our foes in the deep. In the light of dawn the lost returned, gathered by Gandalf the White. The returned riders routed our foes, who then fled, walking.
There's a little clap and laugh.
And I agree, you really do need bongos.
We really do.
Yeah.
We really do.
They like to
Yeah.
go with the beat. Have someone
Yeah,
like
go
in
with
the
our-
background.
Because we're snapping our fingers and yeah.
Well, the trouble is, though, is that the particular style of poetry doesn't necessarily have a regular beat to it.
We'll make
So-
it work,
That's
Pineleaf.
All right, well, let's head into our weekend Lotro. And Andang, what were you up to other than finishing Volume 3 of the Epic Storyline?
Yes, well, I did finish finally editing those videos of me finishing Volume 3. I actually finished Volume 3 a while ago, back earlier this year, but finally finished editing through all that and releasing that stuff, and had a lot of fun doing that. Also, I streamed with Pineleaf and Sprydra as we're making our way on up to 95 so I can start Volume 4 of the Epic Story.
I was so bummed I couldn't make that. I wish I could have made that.
No, that's fine. And Pineleaf and Sprydra talked me into using XP boosts, and so I used one near the end and was able to gain a level, so that was good.
Great.
And have just 2 more to go until I can start Volume 4. So, Forte, what have you been up to?
So, actually, Yule Fest actually kind of pretty much captured me this whole weekend. Kind of got back into doing more live music with me and my quote-unquote daughter during Yule Fest. Well, kind of doing some Christmassy style music, a little bit of Trans-Siberian Orchestra and all that fun stuff for all the people out there questing. And I fell in love with that new steed. It's actually pretty awesome.
Which steed?
It makes the horse. I can't remember. Was it the steed of the
Winter Light? Steed of
Winter Light.
Yeah, and it dies really nice too.
Yeah, I haven't seen the death yet, but it looks like a reindeer. It's set up so they actually have you have the horns of a reindeer. You have, I think there's candles on the horns. It illuminates everything. The costume itself is illuminated, so you can actually see it in the dark. And you also have the war steed components for the costuming. So if you just want to get the head piece that is just the horns of a reindeer, which I'm probably going to do for my my hunter, and just throw it on whatever war steed you do, it looks pretty awesome. So I was actually surprised. It's like one of the best ones that I've seen so far.
Yeah. They had a nice one at Fall Festival too, and they did the same thing. They sold the separate pieces. But yeah, it's great. I actually dyed it last night, and it dies really nice.
Oh, it actually,
so.
what part dies?
The comparison. The comparison dies, and I think a little bit of the halter dies. So if you dye it all the same, I did it all white, so nice. A little bit of the halter went white, and then when you do it white, the gold really stands. The gold that's in the comparison really stands out. It was really nice. It came out really nice.
And then on Monday, which was also over there in Winterhome, got to joining other Ales and Tales there with a special guest, the Tolkien professor. Got to see Maven over there, and got to even learn about some new Tolkien or Lord of the Rings lore that I actually never learned from when he did that. I think he did like an hour-and-a-half lecture, talk, answering questions. So that was actually pretty cool. Of course, it's all layered, so we ought to wrangle into the layering. So that was pretty cool.
That was fun. Mm-hmm. Birka and I had to finally say, "Sir, you've talked for an hour and a half now."
Hey, he kept on asking, "Should I keep going?"
I know, it was funny.
Yeah, Corey.
He's well trained.
And then, which leads into a special announcement. The next Hobnanigans tournament is actually coming January 7th. And we have a special commenter that's going to be there that time, Maven.
Maven, Lady of the Wings. She's
going
to wear a cloak of the cluck. Yes.
Yes.
She's going to wear a cloak of the cluck and be, I'm the color man. So Forte, you be this, you'll be the sportscaster and I'll be the color. I remember back when I was running to Minas Tirith. Yes.
Exactly. And so, just like usual, last month we had an issue with it, but this month, it's still going to be streamed live on Twitch. Which the scoreboard itself, the little live updating scoreboard that occurs while the game's going on, the points, who's performing, who's whatever, or not performing, but who's playing. Was revamped, so that all is going to be coming up. So I pretty much spent my week there refining all of that, getting prepared for the next Hobnanigans, and getting the actual Discord channel set up. So for those of you who will be participating, or even if you're a participant, will be able to join up the Discord. So, like I said, I just spent most of my week getting that stuff taken care of, and enjoying the time I had to be in game because of the upcoming the holiday weekend. But Maven, what about you?
Well, as Forte mentioned, well, two things actually I did parallel to Forte. So I introduced Narnian and his ginger-haired sidekick, which is me, at the Ales and Tales event at Yule Fest. It was really fun. We had a really good time, and he talked about Yule. I need to check. We did upload it to the Signum University YouTube channel, but I don't think it's published yet, but I'm the publisher, so I promise I'll go do that. It was really a lot of fun, and I got to set Forte on fire, which was really fun.
Fire?
I was setting, yeah, because Maven's a hunter, so she was laying down her little campfire, you know?
Yeah!
And I was doing that with everybody that I knew, and nobody reacted but Forte. Forte's like, whoa, hey!
And that was running around in circles on fire.
He was running around in circles and went and set someplace else. Everybody else that I knew that I did it to just didn't pay any attention. It was, you know, it's like, dude. So anyway, so
I'm just that great.
Yeah, you were great. So yeah, Maven the ginger-haired hobbit on all servers is going to be his incorrigible hobbit sidekick. So there will be shenanigans during the course, I promise. We managed. We had to postpone. Normally Tuesday would have been our Mythgard Adventures, but Corey got hit in the head at karate class on Tuesday.
What?
Our Renaissance man, token professor, takes karate class, and it was an accident, and he got hit with a forearm right behind the ear. So it really kind of clinged his clock, and he wrote me on Tuesday, and he says, but he was still going to go. He was like, I may need some help. I'm like, okay, no problem, I will come along. But his wife, who's a doctor, said, no, you're not. So we went last night instead, and we managed as a group to get through the Mirkwood part of bingo, which I don't want to say anything more about it other than just my tone of voice. It was like, thank God that's done. So we're on to the Great River next time we do it. And then, like Forte, I have been ground the Yule Festival. And I also gave Sanswinda a quest tour because she's not done the Yule Fest before, so I gave her a tour of the quests. Although when I checked in with her last night, she said that she probably needs some remedial training. So Terry, you may need to step in and do more mentoring for her. So anyway, so that was my week. And Pintleaf, how about you?
All right, we'll begin with Arkenstone during the field trip. Since some people were out, we didn't do our usual group during the field trip. Instead, I decided to return doing Bingo Boffin on my warden there, who had paused on it for quite some time. Now, this is my character that has the horseshoes, so therefore I want to be able, because I want to see what the changes are near the end when you have the horseshoe on you. So therefore, I did that, and I got through the Moria portion of Bingo.
That's also another one of those got through the Moria portion.
Right. Yes. And then on Crick Hollow, my lore master reached 102, and I was doing my quests in Minas Tirith in order to get up there, and I'm just getting to the part where you look into a certain stone and things go awry. And then on my main warden, I started running the new content that was released on Monday, and I've also found that this is an opportunity to run some skirmishes because for the last few months, I've been mainly concentrating on skirmishes that were going to help me with those lieutenant deeds. But now with all those lieutenant deeds finally done, I could just run skirmishes for the, for the fun of it instead, and have a little bit more variety on those. And while running them, I noticed that the Daywalker Berserkers have been restored to their original skin rather than using the skin that they had for the last couple of updates.
Oh.
All right, and now Draculetta, what were you up to?
I did a lot of the Yule Festival, and I mean a lot of it. The Yule Festival is my second favorite festival. I'll give everybody one guess what my first favorite one is.
Oh, Fall Festival, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
That was easy.
I was hoping somebody would say Summer Festival.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I did like a lot of the festival, and I really enjoy that, even though I've done it, I don't know, countless times ad nauseum. I'm glad you caught that. did that on purpose. Thanks for noticing that. But I like the look and feel of it, even after all this time, and I like all the quests, so I've been doing that a lot. And then on all the servers I play on, I had to buy new houses and new kin houses because someone forgot to pay the bill, and that someone would be.
Ooh.
So I got.
Someone would be you. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that would be me. I forgot to pay the bill on those. So yeah, I got kicked out of all my houses and the kin houses I have, and I actually lost my good little piece of address that I like to get in the housing place I'm in. So I had to run around and try to find somewhere that had a kin house and a house next to each other, and so that was kind of a nightmare. But I guess it's my own fault for getting to pay the bills. But that's pretty much it. I just recently started playing LOTRO again. I kind of took a break for a while, but now I'm slowly easing back
You must
into it.
have if you
So-
were out long enough to not pay your bills.
Yeah, exactly.
But Drac, don't you sleep in a coffin? Did someone just like walk into your house and was like, "Oh, there's this coffin here. We'll throw that to the curb"?
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. And it's like, how rude! I'm in here. Come on now.
All right, then let's head into donations. We currently have 25 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. We did not have any emails this week, but you can email us at podcast@lotroplayers.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, LOTRO Players at LOTRO Players, Ending at Ending LP, Forte at Forte Maestro, Carvet at Carvet LP, Maven at Token Maven, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin at Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News every Thursday at 9 p.m.-ish U.S. Eastern Time. We have XP Quest every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have LOTRO Players News, but note that will not be on tomorrow because we held our show tonight. And on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy After School. But remember, there will not be a December show because we're on hiatus until the month of January. You can join us for our live shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.